welcome back to my channel. I am Shikha, and in this video I'll be discussing one of the most important topics of literary criticism part, which is John Dryden's essay, the essay of Dramatic Poesie. This essay is important because many students have requested me to make a detailed lecture on this particular topic, because many master's students have it in their syllabus, and even UGC people have been asking many questions on this particular topic. So I thought of making a detailed video on this topic, and I'll be covering all the previous year questions as well, so make sure you don't miss any part of this video and you watch it till end. So let's begin with the lecture. So John Dryden was born in 1631 and died in 1700, and he was the prominent English critic, poet, playwright, and even a translator. He basically dominated the literary life of Restoration Age, and maybe this is the reason the Restoration Age is also called the Age of Dryden. And in this age only John Dryden produced his masterpiece, that is this essay, the essay of Dramatic Poesie. And because of this essay he was called the father of English criticism. And this essay, it proved to be a very successful work in the domain of literary criticism. So before moving further into this essay, let's look at the background of this essay. So this essay, the essay of Dramatic Poesie, was probably written in 1966 during the closure of London theatres due to plague, and it got published after 2 years in 1668. So this essay is structured as a dialogue form among four friends on river Thames. So there are these four friends who were sailing towards a navy battle. They were sailing to see a navy battle which was going on between English and Dutch armies. And on their trip, like on the boat in river Thames, they were exchanging dialogues and they were having conversation over the subject of poetry. But the topic, their debate, it soon turned into the virtues of modern and ancient writers. So they started discussing about modern and ancient writers. So there are these four characters who represent the four critiques of Restoration Age. These characters are Kreitz, Eugenius, Lisidious, and Neander. You don't need to remember the name of the critiques that these characters represent, but you just need to know and have a glance at it, okay? So Kreitz, he represents Robert Howard, the critique of Restoration Age. And the next is Eugenius. He represents Lord Buckhurst. And the third one is Eugenius. He represents Charles Sedley. And the fourth one is Neander. Neander is Dryden himself. You just need to remember this, that Neander is Dryden himself. The dialogue that Neander shares, it is of Dryden himself. So let's now discuss the main argument of this essay. This essay basically deals with three main points. The first one is which drama is better, the modern one or the ancient one. Here Kreitz, he supports the ancient drama. He supports all the points relevant to ancient drama, and whereas on the other hand Eugenius, he favors the modern dramas. Further in the lecture I'll be discussing the viewpoints of all these four characters, but let's now just discuss about the three main arguments of this essay. The first one is which drama is better, the modern one or the ancient one. The second main point of their debate is which play is better, English plays or French plays. Which are the plays that are better, French plays or English plays. The third main point of the argument is which form is better for the plays, blank verse or rhyme, blank verse or rhyme. So these are the three main points of their argument that these four characters discuss among themselves on the river Thames. So let's now just discuss about the viewpoints of all these four characters. Here Kreitz was the first one to present his ideas, and he says that ancients are far better than moderns, because moderns have borrowed subjects and forms of play from ancient, and they are dependent upon ancient. He further says that modern writers, they do not follow anything, unity of time, action or place. They do not follow any rules laid by the ancient, and those rules, they are, you know, suitable or appropriate for any play to be called it a proper play. So these modern writers, they do not follow anything. They start their, like, their characters or their hero or heroines, they start their romance from one place, and the drama, it ends up at some different place. Like Indian movies, like the hero and heroine, they begin their romance in India, and then the song comes, they suddenly reach to Dubai or any other country. Like in that movie, recent movie, they suddenly reach to Dubai and says, Dila do tujhe Burj Khalifa. So this is the kind of thing that this Kreitz talk about. He says that we should always follow unity of time, action and place, and it is the mandatory part for any play. It is the rule that ancients have laid, and moderns should follow it, but they do not follow it, so we can't call them the better writers. Only the ancients one are better writers, and even ancient writers, they are lawgivers, and we should, you know, consider them as the models, and we should blindly follow the rules laid by them. So these are the views that Kreitz gives in the entire essay. After Kreitz, now Eugenius jumps into an argument, and he contradicts the viewpoints laid by Kreitz. He says that though moderns have profited by the ancients, though they have followed some rules or some forms developed by the ancients, but now they excelled at some point. They are far superior than the ancients right now, because ancients have developed some forms, but now moderns have added their own taste, and they have added the taste of their audience into the plays. Now they have manipulated the forms and themes according to the taste of their audience. So by manipulating the themes or by adding their own labor, they have excelled it. Now they are far superior than the ancients. Further, Eugenius says that even ancients, they do not follow any unity of time, action or place, and they cannot blame that they have developed this. But before them, French writers, they have initiated this idea of unity of time, action and place. It is not the ancient who have started following it, and even they have not followed it properly. So they can't, you know, blame the modern writers that they do not follow any unity of time, action and place. So Eugenius now says that these ancient writers, they did not have any sense of division. They did not know how to divide their plays. Their plays were only divided by the entrance of the characters or by the singing of the chorus. But we moderns, we have developed some rules. Now we are dividing our plays into acts and further into scenes. So we are better than ancients in that case. Eugenius then says that ancients, in many cases, they have lacked originality, because their plays, they were dependent upon old stories or fables. So, you know, their audience always had the idea what the next action will going to be, because their stories were dependent upon the old fables. But now we moderns, we create our own stories, we create our own themes. So, you know, our audience, they get the pleasure out of it. So our plays are far better than the ancient ones. Eugenius further says that these ancient writers, they have not included the highest form of passion in their play, that is love. Their characters or their protagonists, like Oedipus Rex, they were filled with, you know, sin, and he was filled with the character Oedipus Rex, he was filled with greed, lust and anger and cruelty. So they hardly, you know, included the love theme in their plays. But we moderns, we focus on the love first, and it is the highest form of passion, and it is, you know, a necessary part for any play to be successful. So after Eugenius, now Lisidious comes into an argument, and he favors French drama over English dramas, and he says that, you know, French dramatists, like ancient writers, they follow all the unities very properly, and they do not complicate their stories by, you know, dividing it into acts and scenes like English dramatist does. But they keep their stories very simple, and you know, when these English dramatists, they divide their plays into acts and scenes, they make it more complicated for the audience to comprehend the story of the play. But French dramatists, they keep their stories very simple for the audience, like in 1 or 2 hours audience gets everything in one play. It does not become difficult for them to understand the story of the play. Now Lisidious says that there is nothing as absurd as mixing two different genres. Here he's talking about the mixing of tragedy and comedy. He says that English dramatist mixes these two different genres in their plays, and they present their plays in a bizarre manner. And this Lisidious, he criticized this manner of mixing two different irrelevant genres in a single play. Lisidious further says that our plots are more reliable because we take most of the stories of our plays from historical facts, and because of that it becomes easy for our audience to comprehend the play. Then Lisidious says that we French playwrights, we prefer emotions over actions and plots, unlike English dramatists, because their plays are filled with too much of actions and plots. Then at last, this Lisidious, he says that French writers, they usually write their plays in rhyming verse, and rhyming verse is far better and it is more creative than the blank verse, as English dramatists are unable to create rhyming verse, and it is French writers only who are capable of writing their plays in such a beautiful manner. We write our plays in rhyming verse. So this is what Lisidious talks about. At last, Neander, who is Dryden himself, he takes part into that argument, and here Neander is supporting English plays against French plays. He says that, Lisidious, let me answer you for your criticism over English plays. Whenever you say that we mix tragedy and comedy, but we mix tragedy and comedy because of the audience, because whenever our audience see any violence or death over the stage, they kind of feel squeamished about it. But our addition of comedy or any humorous effect, it actually relieves them from the heaviness of that tragedy. So this is the reason we mix tragedy and comedy, these two different genres. Here another thing, he says that English plays prefer emotions over actions and plots. They show too much violence or death over the stage. But Neander answers him and he says that, Lisidious, death is the ultimate reality of life. No one can escape from it, and we show kind of lively image of the nature. So there is no harm in showing death or violence over the stage. Neander further points out that French dramatists or writers, they usually write in verses and dialogues, and they write it, their verses and dialogues, they are too cold and too long, and it will never suit the taste of English audience. So you better write it. We don't have to write it in that form because it won't suit the taste of our English audience. Then Dryden says that, Lisidious, you have criticized us for our violating of unities, those three unities, time, action and place. But Dryden here says that there is no harm in violating the unities if the drama or a play is fulfilling its purpose. So you can even skip some rules if the drama is fulfilling its purpose. So this is what Neander or the Dryden says over this entire argument. Now let's look at the controversy of blank verse and the rhymings, like which form is better for the plays, blank verse or the rhyme. When Neander finishes his argument at the end of this essay, there is debate that starts between Kreitz and Neander. Kreitz was basically criticizing the use of rhyme in plays, and he says that rhymes are very unnatural for the plays. But Neander, he defends the use of rhyme in plays, and he says that natural words, if used in natural order, it makes the language more natural. So there is no harm in using rhyme for the plays. Kreitz then says that blank verse is more suitable to drama, but Neander says that blank verse is merely a poetic prose. Only rhymed verse is suitable for tragedy because it is actual poetry. So here also, Neander, he defends the use of rhyme in plays. Kreitz as last says that all the great dramatists, they do not use rhymes, but Neander, he says that rhymes is used by all the civilized people, as only they can excel over the use of rhymes. Normal people cannot write in rhymes, but only the civilized people can write in rhymes. So this was the end of this essay. Now we'll be discussing some previous year questions from this particular topic. So the first question is, it was asked in June 2012. It says, one of the most important themes the speakers debate in Dryden's an essay on dramatic poesy is dash. The first option is European and non-European perceptions of reality. Second is the English and non-English perceptions of reality. The third is relative merits of French and English theatre. The relative merits of French and English poetry. You know the answer, definitely the third one is the right answer. So the next question is, in John Dryden's essay on dramatic poesy, Neander defends the English invention. What does he defend? Romantic comedy, action tragedy, tragic comedy, and or morality plays. So what does he defend? Obviously tragic comedy. Then the third question is, in 1668, Dryden wrote of dramatic poesy an essay which uses dash separate characters to dramatize the conflicting viewpoints which new theatrical activity had produced. It was asked in June 2015, and it is basically asking about the number of characters who were there in the essay. And you know the answer, there were 4 characters who were Kreitz, Eugenius, Lisidious and Neander, and the Neander is Dryden himself. So that was the end of this essay. I hope I was able to make you comprehend this topic, and if you still haven't understood any part of it, please go and watch this video again. And so if you liked my video, please like and subscribe this channel, and please like this video as well, gives it a thumbs up, and please press on the bell icon if you want the notifications for the rest of my videos. So bye bye for now, take care, bye.